Can you share with us how you discovered your path? Because people might be curious about, all right, she just rocketed with her business, but what happened before?
Ooh, so kind of very, very quickly, it definitely wasn't like overnight success. It's always the overnight success. It usually takes like quite a few years in the making. So for me, my entrepreneurial career didn't start until I was in my 30s. First, I spent about 16 years working in higher ed, teaching classes, getting degrees, working as an instructional designer. I had my 9 to 5 job, but eventually I decided that was not quite for me. I did not like having my own boss, and I decided to start my own business. And the very first business I started was actually a photography business because I said, yay, photography has been my hobby. I'm going to create a business out of it. And I did. It was definitely a very rough going. I didn't know anything about selling, anything about marketing. I hated talking about myself and selling myself. But eventually, things started moving. I got myself a coach, I got mastermind, so I got a lot of support, and I got my business to 6 figures in the first 18 months. And on the outside, it looked super successful, but the inside, I realized that I was still trading hours for dollars because everything that I was doing in my business was one-on-one. So and I could not leverage, I could not grow, I could not scale, and I could not bring any more money into my business because I basically ran out of time to take on more clients. So that was my big intersection that took me to where I am right now, because I realized that I wanted to have business that was more global than local. And I wanted to have something that was more leveraged, scalable, and something that can grow way beyond 6 figures. And this is where I decided I'm going to be a business strategist. I'm going to create this new business, coaching business that I call Business Success Edge. And I said, I'm going to make it super easy. I'm just going to get a whole bunch of clients. And again, kind of rough going because I didn't realize that I was kind of repeating the same mistakes and trying to go after one-on-one clients. And I didn't know how to talk about myself, and I didn't recognize all my expertise until like a magic thing happened. What I realized was if I wanted to work with many people at once and kind of leverage my time, I had to create a program. And back then, creating a program was kind of scary. So instead of creating a program, I created sort of like a hybrid thing that was a program in a challenge format. And seemingly overnight, I went from not being able to get one-on-one clients, not being able to get anybody to say yes to working with me, to having over 40 people who said, yes, I want to learn from you. And I want to be in this training where you're going to show us step by step a specific process. And that for me was like the biggest light bulb of my whole entire entrepreneurial career. That as long as you have something practical and tangible that you can offer to people and it matches what people are already looking for, you can be unstoppable. So that first program that I've created was basically the starting point of my whole entire business. And this is what I help others do right now. And this is kind of my whole entire foundation of my business goes back to creating a leveraged online program. And this is exactly how I got my business to 6 figures in the first year, to over $250,000 in the second year, and to $1 million in the first 4 years.
Hmm. Yeah, and I witnessed that growth because I think we met like around 2015, 16, and I saw that happening, and I was like, I need to learn from Alina.
Yeah, in the first couple of years of that happening. Yep.
Yeah. And in your opinion, why do so many coaches and healers, especially, struggle to package and monetize their knowledge and expertise?
Oh, it's such a great question. So, number one, it's really hard to recognize our gifts if it comes natural to us. Very often, when I work with people, they go, I don't even know what I can offer. I don't know what I have of value. I don't know what people will pay me for. And in reality, like they're hearing this. This is like when you might want to pay attention to when people say, why are you so good at, why are you always so positive? Or how come posting a social media comes so easy to you? Or how do you always have a story to tell? Or how do you always find such a great report and create such a great report with people? So whatever it is that you probably don't even recognize, very often that's what you can monetize. But we are used to saying like, well, doesn't everybody else know how to do this? Doesn't everybody know this? Doesn't it come easy for everyone? Because we like if something is easy for us, if something is effortless, we dismiss it. And very often you're basically sitting on this gold mine of like, this is what makes you unique. This is what your genius is. And we're trying to find something that's harder to do. That we think like if we find something that's harder for us, that's what everybody else needs. And that's completely opposite. So the biggest thing is finding what that unique strength that you have, unique gift, unique talent, and then understanding how much value you can provide for others. If you can wrap your brain around this idea that you can do something much, much better than somebody else, or you've had way more life experiences than somebody else, or you can explain things in a much easier way. This is where the kind of the sweet spot is. It's recognizing that uniqueness about yourself and valuing that.
Mm. Wow, there is really super keys because I think the valuing these things that come easy for us can be sometimes challenging, as especially when we are coaches and healers. There is a lot of package sometimes that makes us feel devaluing what we can do, the unique gifts that we have. So
Mhm.
that's a really good point that you made there. And now, can you share a little bit the topic what you're gonna share with us today specifically, so people can get ready to take the notes?
Sure. So, as I said earlier, to me, the foundational pivotal moment of my life, of my entrepreneurial career, was creating an online program. So, I'm very passionate about sharing secrets and sort of the insider knowledge on how to create a profitable online program. So, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 secrets for creating a profitable online program.
Wonderful. So now people are ready for those 3 secrets. So please, stage is yours. So please do share with us how we can uh, get our programs, get our gifts out there to the world with greater ease.
Awesome. Okay, so what I was thinking of sharing with you is 3 secrets that helped me create a program, and this is what I've taught thousands of people. So the very first secret is kind of goes back to what we just talked about, Katja, is recognizing the value in what you have. And most people actually overestimate how much other people know and underestimate what they know. And it's interesting because once people start creating a program, once they start writing down everything they know, everything they can share, they usually like in awe of how much they actually know about it and how many stories they can tell about it and how many examples they have. But until we put it on paper, until we actually start writing down, like I can talk about this and I can teach people this and I can share this and I can share that, we don't realize how much we know. And one of the most eye-opening experience is when you actually run your program, and we'll talk about in just a little bit on how to actually offer it to people. But once you are in the middle of running your program or you finished running your program, the biggest clarity you can get is from the reactions of people in your program. Because when somebody tells you, oh my God, how come nobody has ever explained this to me before? Or wow, things are finally making sense. Or wow, I didn't even realize that how wrong I was or what was holding me back. That's when you get a huge boost in confidence. This is where you get the most clarity on what you are creating. And this is where you actually finally start realizing the value of what you can provide. And it's kind of like chicken and the egg. We kind of think like we need to be confident. We already need to be seen as an expert. We already need to recognize our value before we offer our program. In reality, offering and running your program, that's what gives you clarity, that's what gives you confidence, that's what gives you appreciation of the value you provide. So the first secret is basically, even if you don't think you're all that, even if you still don't consider yourself an expert, even if you don't have 100% confidence that this will change people's life, go on and still create that program. Because right now, I guarantee that you have something in you, something you've experienced, something you've learned, something you've been through that other people need. And the longer you wait, the more those people will continue to struggle. Because the way you can explain it, your sense of humor, your values, your story, your unique combination of expertise and talents and different awards you won and different celebrations you've had in your life and different traumas, nobody else can explain it the way you do. So that is kind of like the key number one, the secret number one. Own that you're already an expert even if you don't see yourself as an expert, and go ahead, stop stopping yourself, and create an offer, create a program that others can benefit from. So that is secret number one. Now, secret number two is getting very, very specific. So one big mistake that business owners make when they're creating a program, they start thinking of like, oh, I can help this person with this, and I do this, and I'm good at this. And a lot of us are multi-talented, multi-passionate. We have so much to give to the world. So putting all of this into one program, usually like people go, I need to create my signature program, is a really big mistake, because it's incredibly hard to create something with that much weight, with that much pressure, where like you have to put all of yourself and you have to put everything you know into one program. And whoever is teaching people that they need to create signature program, they should stop, because that's a really, really bad advice. What you want to do instead is you want to get as specific as possible. Choose one specific audience that you want to serve, identify one problem they have, and create one specific solution for that problem. The more focused you can get, the more specific you can get, the better you're going to be in selling it and marketing it and talking about it and attracting the right people who want to invest with you. So here's an example. When I first created my very first program, it was all around how to get clients on Facebook organically using a Facebook page. So it was very, very specific. If I were to create a program on how to get clients online, I probably would not have gotten anyone, because it sounds so generic. It sounds so general. People wouldn't know if that's what they want. But saying specifically how to get clients online using Facebook as a tool, specifically Facebook page, and without paying for Facebook ads, people were saying, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And this is how I got 43 people into my very first time offering that program. And now that I work with I work with over thousands of people on helping them come up with the topic for the program, the more specific you can get, the more laser focused you can get. And I know it's really hard, but the more specific you can get, the easier it will be for you to sell it, to market it, and to get the right people into the program. So that's secret number two. Secret number three is, again, one of those things that makes people scared. And the secret number three is you have to sell your program before you create it. And if you have even like a little bit of a perfectionist in you, you're probably going right away, but everything needs to be done. Everything needs to be, Katja, I see you raising your hand. Like everything has to be done. All of the T's need to be crossed. All of the I's need to be dotted. Like it has to be perfect. Otherwise, how can I sell it? Like, and if you're coming from any other world, like academic world or corporate world, or like businesses of selling goodies, or like stuff has to be done before you sell it, right? Usually. And when you come into the world of online education, when you come into the world of selling your intellectual property, selling before you create is absolutely essential. And here's reason number one. Because if you sell it before you create it, you know that people want to buy it, which means you're not spending a second, you're not spending any time, any effort, any money into creating something that people don't want to buy. You basically have the confirmation and validation that you're creating something that can be profitable, because you're not even going to touch it until somebody paid you money and said, I want this. So the way it works, like come up with an idea, come up with the topic. So one of my clients right now is creating a course on how to potty train your toddler. So what she would do is she would go to parents of toddlers and say, hey, I'm thinking of creating a program. I'm thinking of creating a training on how to potty train your toddler. Would anybody be interested in that? And if people say, yes, absolutely, I was just thinking about it, she can say, great, I can enroll you right now. The program is starting in 2 weeks. And this way she can collect the money. Basically, she would get paid to create her program, and she knows it's something that people need. On the other hand, if she went to her potential parents and said, hey, I'm thinking of creating a program on how to teach your toddlers paint, and people go, I'm not that interested, that she would go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what can I create that would actually get the lean in, get people to be interested? So this way, you're doing your market research at the same time as you getting the validation. And by the time you go into creating your program, you already know that people will pay for it. So if you've ever wondered, like, who would ever pay for this? Or how do I know if anybody will buy it? You won't have those questions, because you already have the proof that people want what you have, what you're creating. So that's number one big reason. Number two is Again, the more specific you are with your program, the easier it will be for you to get the yeses. And also, if you sell it before you create it, you get the you know already that people will want it. If you combine those together, so what happens is you start creating your program as soon as you have somebody who paid you for the program, and then you use their feedback, you use the real people's opinion, you use the real people experiences as they're going through your program. So if your program is 5 weeks, all you have to do is stay 1 week ahead of your people as you're creating your content. So you're going to deliver your content at the beginning of the week. Then you would probably have some kind of a Q&A call, mentoring call midweek. So to see where people are getting stuck, you're going to get feedback. You're going to see where they have questions. And then you're going to create your second module with that feedback, which means by the end of you creating the program, you know that you've included everything that real people with that real program problem need to have. So basically by the end, by the time you're done with your program, you know that it's something that people want to buy. You know that you found the right language to enroll people into your program, and you know that you've put everything into it for people to get the results. And you already have the testimonials and success stories of people experiencing what you're teaching, putting it into action, and getting results. So this is how you basically guarantee that you're creating a profitable program that people want to buy and that delivers results. So that's what I wanted to share.
Wow, that is super duper helpful. And that's actually how I have done it with your guidance too. And I just want to point out, like, I raised my hand when you talked about the perfectionism, and like, it was just a weird concept for me in the beginning. Like, how can you offer it before
Can
you
you sell
create
something that doesn't exist yet?
So if you're there, it's okay. And it is just the way to do it, because you want to also have something that people want, because otherwise you can spend so much time creating something that people might need, but they might not want to buy. And one of the things I want to also now challenge all of you who are tuning in, participating, take your journal and just note down ideas. Like what could your program, whether it's your first program or the how many ever program it will be, but just write down ideas, because I want you to take action. It's not just hearing wisdom, but I want you to take action on this. So write down those ideas, what your program could be. And now, as we are starting to wrap up here, so I just want to ask, do you have a special final message that you would like to share?
Sure. Don't wait. That Take action, because I can't tell you how many people think that they need to get ready, how many people think that they need to be recognized by somebody else as an expert before they can create a program, or they need to have a list, or they need to have an audience, or they need to have a following before they can create that program. In reality, it's completely the opposite. Once you package that intellectual property that's on your head, once you put your passion, your skills, your talents into a program, that is what can put you on the map. This is what happened to me. I had barely non-existing list. I didn't do a launch. There were no funnels. There were no affiliate partners. There were no webinars. And I still got 40 people into my program because I got very specific and I offered something that people were looking for. And that's what put me on the map. That's what got other people wanting to promote me. That's what got other people talking about me and recognize me as an expert in a specific niche. So creating the program put me on the map. So don't wait until you feel like you're somebody, until you feel like you're an expert. Start now, because that's what's going to position you as the trusted, credible expert and authority.
Cool. That's it. And
Yes, that's it.
it is truly time to share our gifts. I know you have the calling in your heart, so you need to share it, share your gifts with the world. And thank you so much, Alina, for your time today and all the work that you do in the world.
Thank you so much for having me, Katja. This was a pleasure.